This is New York's #1 news, Channel 7 Eyewitness News, with David Navarro and Shirley Hallicott and Bill Evans with the exclusive AccuWeather forecast. Now, Eyewitness News at noon.
A big apology in the race for president. A Supreme Court justice says she regrets her comments about Donald Trump. This as Trump gets ready to announce his vice presidential pick.
A brutal attack on a street in Manhattan. An elderly man punched and knocked to the ground. What we're learning from police as they search for the suspect. And good afternoon. I'm David Navarro.
And I'm Shirley Hallicott. We want to begin with the weather. It's expected to be a bit steamy out there today, and stormy for that matter.
That's sure. Temperatures heating up right now, but the big threat this afternoon, the possibility of thunderstorms. Meteorologist Amy Friesen for Bill Evans, and as more on the AccuWeather alert. Amy.
Yes, good afternoon to the both of you. A couple of things to talk about. The sticky weather, of course, making things uncomfortable outside, but you can almost see the moisture in the atmosphere. It's just a really soupy day. 85 degrees already on the map, so we've got the heat and the humidity to work with, both in place. Right now, temperatures in and around the boroughs heating up very quickly. We've got 87 for Garrettson already. Murray Hill's at 85, 86 for Ridgewood. Those temperatures will help to be one of the very important parts and ingredients for our storms to form later on. But just know it's going to be uncomfortable, and there actually are some heat warnings and watches to talk about. The heat advisory that goes for much of New Jersey, and then the excessive heat warning here in bright pink, and that goes for central New Jersey all the way back to Philadelphia. There's also an air quality warning, and that goes until 11 o'clock tomorrow night, meaning that the atmosphere is trapping the pollutants right at the surface, so making it unhealthy air as well. Severe risk for today. Storms that could produce damaging winds, heavy downpours, even the possibility of small hail. The National Weather Service has put out this slight risk category here in yellow. Now, it's a marginal risk for folks out on Long Island, down through South Jersey, but that yellow area is really what we're going to concentrate on. And if you look at the futurecast, here's what we know. The storms are going to be moving in from the west. And about 2 o'clock this afternoon, that energy starts to push eastward. As it does so, the storms look like they could be really potent. Oranges, yellows, and reds showing up. Heavy downpours are likely. Won't rule them out for any place, but it's most likely to happen north and west of the city. Then right about the commute time, a large piece of energy comes right through the boroughs, and I think that's where we could get those heavy downpours and get the most attention from the storms today. Things should settle down later on tonight. I'll have much more on how much rain these storms could produce and what's in store for the weekend. I'll have that in the AccuWeather 7-day forecast. Shirley?
All right, thank you, Amy. New at noon, a truck driver has died after a horrific crash this morning on Interstate 78 in New Jersey. This video, taken by an Eyewitness News viewer, shows the fiery scene when the big rig crashed near Tewksbury Township at around 7:15. The state police says it appears the tractor trailer hit a bridge support, then burst into flames. The name of the truck driver has not been released. And now to the brutal attack on an elderly man in Manhattan. Video shows one of the two suspects punching the 75-year-old and knocking him to the ground. It happened outside the Salvation Army on West 14th Street in the West Village. Eyewitness News reporter Stacey Sager is live in the West Village with the very latest details. Stacey.
Well, you know, Shirley, this is a very busy block. West 14th between 6th and 7th, right outside the Salvation Army. This happened in broad daylight yesterday, just after 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And this camera back here, this surveillance camera on the Salvation Army, well, it caught the pictures we're about to show you. Now, this is one of the suspects police are looking for. They say he punched and kicked a 75-year-old man in the back of his head and knocked him to the ground. Cops say he kicked him in the face also until the man was unconscious. Now, here's a picture of both people police are looking for. The woman on the left, they say in green, in the green dress with the hood, they say she acted as a lookout. The elderly man, meanwhile, is recovering at the hospital. But the real question here is, on a busy block like this, could someone have stepped in to help?
That's really surprising. I mean, to be honest, that doesn't really make me scared for my own safety, but at the same time, that's still terrible that bystanders didn't get involved.
Well, in this neighborhood, they leave you on the streets. That's how it is. Nobody wants to get involved around here.
Now, one once again, this is a busy block. It's right outside the Salvation Army, and a lot of residents expressed concern for homeless people and the people out here on the street for their safety. Police are looking for your help. They say one thing that's very important, the male suspect has a very distinctive red patch of hair on his head. If you've seen either of these people, police are asking you to call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-577-TIPS, 1-800-577-TIPS, and the victim is in stable condition at Lenox Hill right now. We're live in the West Village. I'm Stacey Sager, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Stacey. Well, turning now to the race for president, and this morning, an apology from Ruth Bader Ginsburg. The Supreme Court justice said she regrets her comments about Donald Trump. Meanwhile, Trump expected to announce his vice presidential pick tomorrow right here in New York City. ABC's Elizabeth Hurt joins us now with much more details. Elizabeth.
Yeah, David, that apology from Justice Ginsburg comes just days after she called Trump a faker who lacks consistency and criticized him for not releasing his tax returns. She even went as far as saying that she will move to New Zealand if he becomes president. Well, as you can imagine, that did not sit well with Trump, who called for her to resign yesterday, and today came that apology in which she said that her comments were in fact ill-advised. In short, this is just the latest controversy in a race turning out to be closer than ever.
The guessing game almost over. Donald Trump announcing tomorrow morning at 11 in New York he will reveal his running mate, Trump, on Fox News.
At 3, potentially 4. But in my own mind, I probably am thinking about 2.
Sources telling ABC News that list is now down to former House Speaker Newt Gingrich and Indiana Governor Mike Pence.
Nothing was offered, nothing was accepted, but we had a great conversation about the country.
Pence and Gingrich meeting with Trump and his family in Indianapolis yesterday. Gingrich later telling Fox News he thinks Pence is the solid choice.
In many ways, Donald Trump is like a pirate. He's outside the normal system. He gets things done. In a lot of ways, my entire career has been a little bit like a pirate. Do you really want a 2-pirate ticket? Or do you want to take a very solid guy?
Hillary Clinton, in the meantime, still vetting possible running mates, campaigning today in what could be a VP audition for Virginia Senator Tim Kaine, and slamming Trump as a polarizing figure unfit to be president.
He said that he understands systemic bias against black people because, and I quote, even against me, the system is rigged, unquote. Even this, the killing of people, is somehow all about him.
Well, Clinton's new attacks are coming as a new national poll out today shows Clinton and Trump deadlocked at 40% each, to which Trump tweeted this morning, "Thank you, America." I'm Elizabeth Hurt for Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Elizabeth. A reminder, our coverage of the Republican National Convention begins this Sunday night at 11. Eyewitness News anchors Bill Ritter, Laurie Stokes, and political reporter Dave Evans will be in Cleveland.
The former chairman of the Port Authority is expected to plead guilty this hour to a felony charge related to his regular use of a United Airlines flight from Newark to South Carolina. Investigators say David Sampson used his position to make it easier to get to his vacation home. What's now being called the chairman's flight came to light in the federal investigation of the George Washington Bridge closures. We should learn more about Sampson's plea at a news conference this afternoon. In about an hour, police will hold a news conference to talk about a deadly police-involved shooting in Orange County. Investigators were called to an apartment in Middletown last night for a domestic disturbance. A woman told police her 56-year-old ex-boyfriend had a gun and threatened to shoot her. Police say when they ordered him to come out, he wouldn't, leading a confrontation with police and then the shooting.
A horse-drawn hearse leading the funeral procession for Philando Castile, the man shot to death by a police officer during a traffic stop in Minnesota. Castile's girlfriend live-streamed the aftermath of his shooting on Facebook, leading to protests and strong reaction on social media. Castile's funeral and burial are private, but later today a reception will be held at the Montessori school where he worked. Up to 2,000 people are expected to pay their respects. And lots of reaction today to 4 of the country's biggest NBA stars, kicking off the ESPYs with a call to action in the wake of the shootings in Dallas and the police-involved shootings across the country. New York Knicks star Carmelo Anthony joined on stage by LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Paul. The men talked about the need for us all to do more to heal the racial divide in the country and not allow violence and hatred to win out.
The system is broken. The problems are not new. The violence is not new. And the racial divide definitely is not new. But the urgency to create change is at an all-time high.
The call for athletes to play a larger role in helping confront the violence came just hours after President Obama met with civil rights leaders and law enforcement officials. Tonight, the president holds a town hall in Washington, D.C. addressing the topic. And we invite you to tune in tonight for that special ABC News Town Hall. It's called The President and the People, a national conversation about race, policing, and how we bridge the divide. It begins at 8 p.m. right here on Channel 7, and you can watch it also on the ABC app.
A popular game leads to a crime in our area. Coming up, details about the Long Island teen who was playing Pokemon Go, but then became the victim of a robbery.
And daredevils caught on camera climbing a popular monument on the Vegas Strip right in the middle of the night.
And the Emmy nominations were just announced. Our Sandy Kenyon will break it all down for us after the break.
Today at 5.